Viewers and subs, welcome back. This is an exciting series, guys. We're going to be doing a full outdoor restoration guide. I'll be showing you everything. This is a highly budget job. I'll show you from the prep work to the primer to the body work down to the paint and to the clear coat, what compressor we're using, what materials we're using. So stay tuned, guys. All right, guys, welcome back. This is episode 3 of the outdoor project. Now, if you haven't catch the last 2 episodes, make sure you catch up to that one, pause this one, go back and catch those 2, and then come back. So it's paint day, guys, and we're going to get this car cleaned up with some prep all. Now, on the previous day, the car was washed and cleaned with Dawn soap. We washed it down with some Dawn soap, so it's super clean. The Dawn soap really gets all those grease and all those dirts, just like you wash your dishes. Dawn soap is actually the best thing you can use to degrease your car. Now, the paint we're using is the Nason, right? So we're mixing up the Nason paint here. This is a whole gallon mix unreduced, so you will have to reduce it. And I mixed it up into a 2-to-1 mix ratio. These disposable cups that I'm using, they're from Harbor Freight. Not that expensive. You can get a whole bunch for cheap. Now we're getting down to the painting, guys. We're gonna start on the roof. The paint gun that I'm using is the Intertool LVLP spray gun, so it consumes a lot less SCFM from the regular LVLP paint guns. Now, the problem that we have, guys, I can tell you right now, I'm really feeling the pain of a DIY painter. Painting outside in this condition is not an easy task. That is why you guys always have all these kind of paint issues that you really need help with. And just by doing this, I can tell that this is tough. This is really tough. Now, this gun it has a 1.3 tip inside of it, and it's not spraying properly, right? You can see that it's heavy in some areas and light in some areas, so we're not getting a full uniform spray from this gun. That's another problem. The other problem is our compressor. The compressor chips out sometimes, and then it loses the pressure really fast, even though we're using this LVLP paint gun, but we're gonna make it work. On my first coat of paint, I try to get coverage before I start painting the whole car in full. Now, a lot of you guys might have the question, shouldn't you have sealed this since you have all these burn through? Yes, you should have sealed this. However, we're not doing this in this video because that will cost more money and more time, and this is not that kind of job. We're just trying to get this to look as good as possible in a super short amount of time and not make it look horrible while not taking all the steps that you would usually take. To answer a question that I was asked recently, most guys didn't know that you could actually crack open the sunroof to get it masked. That is one of the best thing you can do for yourself instead of taping it around it while it's fully closed. Or if you can just take it off completely, that will be even better. Now, back to some of the paint issues that we're facing right now is the low pressure and the gun not spraying properly, right? Now, when your pressure is low, it's gonna automatically get your paint to look grainy. And if your paint start to look grainy, that means it's gonna be rough. The last thing you want to do in this situation is spray it dry. I recommend spray it wet, full trigger, full fluid, and spray it wet. It will come out smoother. Now here I stopped for a second because it was just no pressure at all. So I waited for the compressor to build up a little bit and then start painting again. This is going to be an issue when it comes to the clear coat, because when you're clearing, there is no stopping in between. You have to keep consistent so you can maintain that wet edge. But as I said, we're gonna make it work. Guys, if this is something that you do outside, just for the fun of it, just for like a hobby, or if you're trying to make some extra cash at home, a tent is the starter way to go. Like, you're gonna start this way, but eventually, if you have the room in your backyard or wherever you are, you want to start to build yourself a booth, right? I was showing Joey here how grainy it is because the pressure is low. So yes, you would start to think a little bit bigger because you want something more secure and with proper airflow, whether you're using an airflow system or you get some really nice exhaust fan that's going to help with the fumes and the buildup and the fogginess when you start to paint. So you know that saying, started from the bottom, now we're here. Everybody got to start somewhere. Stop paying attention to what other people are doing and focus on what you're doing. You have to pay attention to where you are and focus on where you're going. That's a big mistake a lot of people make. Now, the gun here is leaving these streaks, and we're going to try to fix this by doing a different spray pattern. So this is the first coat on here. It's not looking bad at all. You can see some sheen to it. It's not rough at the moment, and we're gonna try to scuff it a little bit before we start the second coat. Just try to help with a smoother transition. We're on to the second coat. We waited 15 minutes before we start applying the second coat of paint. What you will notice is that I'll be using two different spray patterns to help with the streaks, to make sure the paint comes out a lot more uniform. We don't want to see those streaks once we start to clear coat. Feel free to ask as many questions as you may like. We all can learn from each other, and I sure think I have a lot to learn when it comes to this style of spraying. Share some of your tips and tricks so that the rest of the class can learn something. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all done with the base. As you can see, we got those streaks to disappear pretty good. Joey did such a good job laying down the base. For a rookie, he sprays like a seasonal painter. Now we're gonna get this, give it a little tack, and then we're going to lay down the gloss. The clear coat that I'll be using is the 7272 4CR clear coat. Guys, just to add, all these products are being sold by Complete Paint Care. That's who I work with directly. So if you're buying these products on my behalf, just let them know Mario Paint Class sent you, and it's Complete Paint Care, not the actual company 4CR. This clear coat packs some serious gloss, and it is scratch resistant. So if you lay down some clear coat on your car, you would want it to be scratch resistant, where it don't get scraping scratches that easily, or if they do, you can buff it out real easy. Now we're laying down the gloss here with the same paint gun at 21 psi, wide open fan, and full fluid. Now, as you can see, as you guys may notice, on the hose we had to wrap it a little bit with some a piece of cloth and some tape. That's because we're having water in the line. That is another major issue that won't allow you to get a beautiful finish when you're done, beautiful and clean, because there's water in the line. Now I have a water separator, water and oil separator on the paint gun itself, but it needed one on the compressor. If you don't have those things on hand when you're painting at home or even in a big shop, it's gonna be a problem. You cannot have oil or water entering your paint job while you're painting. We will apply only 2 coats of clear coat to finish up this job. I'll just show you the first coat, and I'll show you guys what it looks like once it's all done.